Who you think you fooling? No matter how hard you try, you can't hate the white man. You see an old woman trip on the streets, hurt herself, you be the first nigga to run over there to help her to get up off the ground and to ask her if she alright. So, what happened to her? How did they get us to hate each other? To want to gun your brother down cold-blooded in the street? Man, who you niggas fooling? You niggas ain't no real gangsters. Y'all ain't no real thugs. Right? The real gangsters are Italian. Half of you niggas don't really want to fight. What happened to us? They reduced us to a beast's mentality. You niggas don't really want to die? And if you say you do, I can show you, well, somewhere along the line, you got a hold of some bad drugs. We got some of the smartest people in the world, and they got a lot of money, and they have to get us, y'all. Overstand the scheme against us. They have the Council of 300. And who is the Council of 300? 300 of the richest people in the world, y'all, who gather from time to time to decide on how and what direction they want to take the world in. Man, this is what we're dealing with. We have become a target, y'all, by a group of beings who call themselves the Bilderberg Group, who are only interested in building a bird to get the hell out of here as they slowly kick us in the nuts. But you have nowhere to go though, because galactic law confines you to the planet. And galactic law states that before you can rule, you must first serve. And as a nation, we have served our ass off, wouldn't you agree? You made a concentrated effort to keep us from rising. As you keep a close eye with your crooked organization called the FBI, monitoring the rise of a black messiah. For all of you that says there's no such thing, why are they spending $22 million and more a day looking for? Would you spend $22 million looking for something that doesn't exist? And trust me, these beings got a whole lot more information than you got, and way more money and way more capabilities. You have collected files within files of all these great black brothers, such as Tupac, Fred Hammond, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, right? You have created plots against these brothers to bring their demise or assassination. And yeah, I've been to your parties. I seen your freak show. I know all about the Taurus Club. Yeah, I know your hit squad on the Republic called the Secret Squirrels. Top secret shit, right? 3 and 4 levels above presidential clearance. Let me show you how we move. I'm in your office right now, looking over the black desk. See what we have here. Stanley Tookie Williams III, born December 29, 1953. Leader of the Crip gang. A high asset to the mental construct of interracial violence. Damn, this shit is deep. And Yater set up a powerful instrument used to fondle cocaine in the black communities. Damn, that's powerful right there. Overseeing how gang banging started, see? Right? In fact, the two guys who started Crip is both my cousins, right? Because the Williams and Washingtons migrated from the South to California, right? In the 1950s. And my granddaddy is a Washington and my grandmother is a Williams, right? So this is very close knitted when you talk about the Washingtons and the Williams, because when you say Washington, what you're saying is Wichita, right? Which was Native American Indian, right? Stemming all the way down from the Olmec, right? We can get into that. I got classes on it already, right? But Tookie Williams originated from Louisiana, which is where I'm from. They actually lived in the same neighborhood as my mother, my grandmother and them. So that's how I'm kin to Tookie. And then Raymond Washington, which is the Washington side, my great-granddaddy Shine, had his brother moved to California in the 40s. He had children, and these were the Washingtons, which was where Raymond Washington come in. So it was really a close family knit, because the Washingtons and the Williams married in together. So it was a really close knit between the Washingtons and the Williams. Actually, gang banging goes all the way back when the black people from the South didn't like the way they was being treated, migrated to California for better work and better jobs, right? Because they had factory jobs. They were met with a racism force down there, right? The police brutality, right? The beating of the police, of of the black man, right? They were met with white gangs, Ku Klux Klan, white boys who would bats and chains, who would catch black people walking and beat them up. So black people started joining together and walking together, and as a gang or as a group, as a unit, to defend themselves from these oncoming white folks who were trying to attack them because they didn't want them to be in California, right? Back in the early 50s and 60s, right? Early 60s. Out of this spun the Black Panthers, right? And a group called the Us People, right? And these were the first kind of organizations that kind of stemmed the gang thing. And these brothers had different programs going on in their community, like Feed the Children's program. They fed the children's breakfast. They had their own ambulance service because they said that the ambulance took too long to get to the black community. So they had their own ambulance service to come pick people up and drop people off at the hospital. These brothers were doing positive things. But J.Edgar Hoover, right, and his gang set out to prevent these brothers from rising. He saw these brothers as militant, right? And being that he was a Klansman, right, he was in with the LAPD, and the FBI worked close with the LAPD to monitor these brothers, right? And had all these brothers, the ones that were, who they thought could possibly be a powerful influence, had these brothers either framed for murders or had these brothers pretty much killed, murdered in cold blooded, right? And they were infiltrated by their own people that looked just like them, wolf in sheep clothing, sent by the FBI, right? To stop these brothers, right? And after these brothers comes the Crips, right? Which set up by Tookie Williams and Raymond Washington, right? And then the opposing force were beings who said we didn't take this shit from these Crips, right? Which is a lot of groups popped up, but they're the main group that was holding the Crips off and giving the Crips a run for their money, and these guys had heart, was off of the Piru Street in California, right? The Piru Street. And these guys became known as the Piru, but you had different sets. You had the Brims, right? The Hoovers came in later, right? You had the Rollin, which became the Rollin 60 Crips, right? So you got different sets of Crips, and you got different sets of blood, but the original Crips started in LA and then migrated to Compton, right? Bompton, as the Piru say, right? Better known as Bompton, right? Gang culture all generated from a group of black people in their own community, protecting their own community, their own neighborhood from oncoming white gangs, the Ku Klux Klans, and white people who got together who didn't want black people in California to give them a hard time and make them want to leave California, right? But they think that beating us and all that was gonna get us out of California. They were sadly mistaken because we was already getting beat down in the South. You know what I'm saying? That's what that do, right? So these gangs formed as communities to protect themselves from Ku Klux Klan and things like that at first. Later on spun into the Black Panthers, then a group called the Us, which later on spun into the Crip, because some of the Black Panthers became Crip, okay? And Crip, what some beings say Crip means, and some people say it was originally called Crib, right? Crip originally means, from my understanding on some beings say it means community, restoration, and progress, right? That's what the Crip it means, right? So it was by protecting their community, restoring their community, keeping these white gangs out of their community from beating up on their neighbors and stuff. It was about protecting your family. They became a family. It was a family thing. Then the FBI seen this, right? And they said we can use this to our advantage. They did research on it. They studied this. We can use this to our advantage. What we'll do is we'll infiltrate these guys. We'll give them crack cocaine. We'll give them guns, artillery. We'll give them guns that normally wouldn't be found on the street. Because before, in the 1960s, most the nigga had was a revolver or a shotgun. Niggas didn't have no motherfucking AKs, Uzis, nothing like that until the FBI came into play, or the CIA. These guys stepping in and falling these guns and these drugs to generate their other programs they got going on, like this secret space program or the secret operation they got overseas, some shit like that, you know? So these people saw this and said, we gotta take advantage of this, and they used this sort of war. These brothers originally didn't start out to beat up on each other. These brothers started out just to protect their neighborhoods and their communities, right? When they got involved, when the money and the drugs got involved, they knew that this was gonna cause these brothers to start getting into it over territory, over power and money and respect. right? They saw this as a way that they can get more black people in prison and inflatuate the prison systems in California. This was a whole plot, a whole scheme used against us to keep us intertwined in the prison system. They even made laws, extra laws for gangbangers. One being who was from 6-0, Rolling 60 Crips. Shout out to the Rolling 60 Crips, especially the ones out of Slauson and South Central, you know. Shout out all the Rolling 60s, you know what I'm saying? The big OG, Big U, was taking some of the homies, right, to see Farrakhan. And he went to jail. In the court trial, they brought this up and gave him more time for taking Crips to go meet Farrakhan and turning them into Muslims, making them cleaning brothers up, making them good brothers, making them suit and bow tie, bean selling brothers, good brothers, you know what I'm saying, who taking care of their family. Want to turn them into some good brothers. He was taking brothers to go see Farrakhan. And these FBI suckers, I gave him 10 extra years for doing that. They gave him 10 extra years for taking brothers and stopping them from gangbanging. So they tell you what these beans is all about and how they feel about us, man. And that's why they wouldn't let Tookie out of jail, because they knew Tookie could stop the shit. They had to kill him in jail. They had to make sure he died in jail, right? And they shot Raymond Washington, tried to make it like Sylvester Scott and what was the other fella named? Benson Owens, who was really like some of the pioneers of the Pyru, which I believe later on came into the Bloods, right? Or they, you know, because the Bloods were red and they started saying Blood, but the Pyru is the original set from Pyru Street, right? So these beings have making a concentrated effort. And it seems like they one of their bases for attack against us is California, right? Which is why Atum Ray based his satellite out of California, because this is the root of where they're attacking us from. Where they're doing all the research at UCLA about crack cocaine and about mind control, right? These are the things that they have mounted against us, and we must be aware of these things now so that we can vibrate about this thing. It's cool to want to protect your neighborhood, right? Want to be part of your neighborhood and represent, but killing black brothers, selling crack cocaine to your own people, right? These things, brother, y'all need to not deal with no more, because this is a plot against us, brother. It's cool you want to bang your thing, right? Gang banging was initially about protecting your community, not by going selling crack in your community, not by going blowing homeboy brains out or setting your homeboy up, doing all these things, right? We just want to make this thing clear that they are attacking us. When you see brothers, when you got this gang banging thing, they studied this shit, man. College professors studied the science of gang banging and all this, man. And they saw how to amplify it to get us to start attacking each other. The LAPD, who been racist from the jump. LAPD was a racist committee all the way back from the 1940s and 1950s, man, when they had that chief of police who recruited militant white guys from the South to come and police black people in California. He recruited military veterans, young guys from Mississippi, Texas, and Louisiana, and Florida, and these areas to come to California and police black people. And that's why you had so much police brutality in California, which where you get the Rodney King incident, where they beat Rodney King for about 2 hours, right? They beat Rodney King for like 2 hours, man. So what do? When they started capturing these gangbangers, especially ones they knew that were leaders, they would send these beings to other places, to other cities, to other states, and they would set up gangbanging there, right? By default, right? And then they do is they put out a movie, right? The Jews who in control of the FBI and the CIA, right? The Jesuits. What they do then is put out a movie called Color, right? Where the Crips and Bloods are killing each other, right? Where the Crips and Bloods are selling drugs in the community, right? And they spread this information by way of the tell lie vision, right? Meaning to tell lies on your vision, right? And they're putting this information out to put us under some type of mind spell. This was a spell that was casted upon us as a people to want to kill each other over a color. So now we have gang banging all over the United States, even overseas now. Brothers are calling themselves Bloods and Crips, okay? And Tookie knew this information, right? And that's why he was trying to get out and trying to change things, but they didn't want him to get out because the FBI wanted to see to it that he was murdered or killed in prison. when during the bus boycott with Rosa Parks, they want to sit at the back of the bus, right? Do you know that black people stopped riding the bus, right? And when they stopped riding the bus, they even started raising money to start their own bus company. When the powers that be found out that they were going to start their own bus company, they said, oh yeah, well, we'll let y'all sit on the front of the bus now. So the boycott ended once they tried to start their own bus station, their own bus system. The boycott ended, right? Because they don't want you to do for self. They want you to depend on them for everything. So when they cut you off, you see what I'm saying? They pacifying us, right? It's a big game that's being played economically. You know why segregation was done? It was done because, look, check this out. Jim Crow law would have been the best thing for black people. If it was still Jim Crow law, it would have been forced us to do for self. It would have forced us to start our own businesses and buy from ourselves, right? But by the Jim Crow law going out and the powers that be, the Illuminati saw that, okay, this Jim Crow law gonna make these niggas more powerful because it's gonna make these niggas start their own bus station. It's gonna make these niggas start their own train stations. It's gonna make these niggas do this and do that, right? Start their own businesses. We can't have that. So let's let these niggas join on with us, right? And everything they need, we give to them. That way they'll never do for self. They'll never create for self. They have spoiled us. They have spoiled the American black people to where we want stuff from the government. We want stamps. We want welfare. We want all this different stuff. Public housing. You know, we want this different system. It's crippled us. Not having the Jim Crow law crippled us, right? The Jim Crow law would have made coloreds, what they call us, coloreds, right? Niggas, right? So what they would have made us do is, since these white pies only, right? They would have made us go and create our own pies. But now we going and we buying white pies, right? You see what I'm saying? The Illuminati saw that the Jim Crow law or the Jim Crow Act was gonna put us ahead of the game, so they came in and wanted to remove the Jim Crow. Understand why is no Jim Crow right now? Because of the Jim Crow law, they saw that the Jim Crow law was a dumb idea because niggas will be ahead right now, right? Black people don't buy from black people. We don't circulate the money in our community. We go and spend the money with the Arabs, with the Vietnamese, with the Koreans, with the Africans, right? And people that saying they Africans, the Americans, the Africans don't think that you African. They don't hang out with you. They know that you the kings. They know that you flyer, right? They know that you flyer. They know that you the king, right? They want to be like you. They come over to dress like you. They take off their dashiki and come over and put on the sag in their pants and wear the kicks like you, huh? So, you know, the Jim Crow law would have put us ahead of the game. And by them the Illuminati saw that, because they got a group called the Think Tank, the 300, or the Committee of 300. These beings sit around and decide how to keep the original rulers down so they can continue to rule. That's their job.